spouse. You clicked this because part of you wants me to say it out loud so you don't have to. Hey, so you're here. At whatever hour you're watching this, and I already know it's either late enough that you should be asleep or early enough that you're procrastinating something else. But you clicked. And that's interesting. Because this title didn't promise you advice. It didn't offer you a solution, it just named something. And that was enough to get you to stop scrolling and sit with me for the next few minutes. You want to know if I actually know. If somehow, through the algorithm or the void or whatever dark magic runs this platform, I've figured out the specific thing you're carrying around like a stone in your pocket. The thing that sits between you and the person you share a bed with. The thing that makes you reach for your phone instead of reaching for them. And here's the thing. Maybe I do know. Or maybe you just need to hear someone acknowledge that it exists. That you're not the only person on this planet who wakes up next to someone they love and still feels completely alone with certain thoughts. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. That everyone has private thoughts, everyone has a past, everyone has browsing history they'd rather not explain, or bank account decisions that would raise eyebrows, or ongoing conversations with people who knew them before marriage made everything complicated. But that's not why you're here. You're here because it's getting heavier. Whatever you're not saying, it used to be easy to not say it. It used to just be one of those things, background noise. But lately it started taking up space. It shows up when they're talking about their day and you realize you're not really listening because you're too busy making sure your face looks like you're listening. It shows up when they touch your shoulder and you flinch just slightly because you were somewhere else entirely. It shows up when they ask, "What's wrong?" and you say, "Nothing." And both of you know you're lying, but neither of you push it, because pushing it means going somewhere neither of you are ready to go. So instead, you come here. To me. To this video. To a voice that doesn't know you but somehow knows this about you. Either way, you're still here. Now let's talk about what you're actually protecting. Because that's what this is, right? Protection. You're not keeping this secret to hurt them. You're keeping it because you think it will hurt them. Or because you think it will hurt you when they react to it. Or because you think it will change the way they see you. And right now, the way they see you is the only version of yourself you can stand to live inside. Maybe it's money. Maybe you spent something you shouldn't have, or lost something you were supposed to protect, or made a decision that went against what you both agreed on. And now it's done, and you can't undo it, so you're just managing. Quietly. Waiting for the credit card statement to arrive, or the phone call to come, or the bill to show up, and you're already rehearsing the fight in your head. Maybe it's a person. Not necessarily an affair, though maybe it is. But maybe it's just someone you talk to who makes you feel like the person you were before you became who you are now. Someone from before. Someone from work. Someone online who doesn't know. Maybe it's your body. Something you found. Something that doesn't feel right. Something you keep checking when they're not looking. Something you keep Googling at 2 a.m. even though you know WebMD is going to tell you you're dying. Something you're afraid to say out loud, because saying it out loud makes it real. Maybe it's a thought you had, a fantasy, a plan, a version of your life where you just left, just walked away, started over. became someone else somewhere else. And you're horrified that you even thought it, but you keep thinking it anyway. And every time they talk about the future like it's a shared certainty, you feel a little bit more trapped. Maybe it's something they did, something they said, something that hurt you, months ago or years ago, and you said it was fine, and they believed you. And now it's too late to bring it up because bringing it up means admitting you've been carrying it this whole time. Or maybe it's none of those things. Maybe it's something I haven't even named. Something so specific to your life that you're almost relieved I didn't guess it. Because as long as it stays unnamed, it stays manageable. But here's what I need you to hear. You're not broken for having this. You're not a bad person for holding something back. Relationships aren't full transparency all the time. That's not how humans work. We're not open source code. We're messy, layered, contradictory creatures who contain multitudes, and some of those multitudes don't need to be shared in real time. But there's a difference between privacy and silence. Privacy is choosing not to narrate every thought. Silence is swallowing something that's rotting. And you can feel the difference, can't you? You can feel whether this thing you're carrying is just yours to hold, or whether it's starting to corrode the space between you. You can feel whether you're protecting them or protecting yourself from them. And maybe the real secret, the one under the secret, is that you're not sure they could handle it. Not because they're weak, but because you've built this whole structure of who you are to them, and this thing doesn't fit in that structure. And if you introduce it now, the whole thing might collapse. And then who would you be? Who would they be? So you're stuck. And that's why you're here. Because I don't need you to be anyone. I'm not in your life. I don't have expectations. I'm just a voice in your ears while you stare at a screen. And for the next minute or so, you can stop pretending. You're tired of holding it, but you're more tired of imagining what happens if you let it go. This feeling won't last. It never does. You'll finish this video and you'll close the tab and you'll go back to whatever you were doing before I interrupted you. You'll make dinner or go to bed or send a text message or scroll for another 20 minutes. You'll see them across the room and you'll smile, and they'll smile back. And the secret will stay exactly where it is. And maybe that's fine. Maybe some secrets are meant to be kept. Maybe some things don't need to be excavated. Maybe you're doing the math in your head right now. The cost of speaking versus the cost of silence, and silence is winning. But you'll think about this video later. You'll think about it when they ask you what you watched today and you say nothing much. You'll think about it when you're lying in bed and they're asleep next to you and you're staring at the ceiling wondering if this is just what long-term love feels like. You'll think about it the next time the secret gets a little heavier, a little harder to carry, a little closer to spilling out on its own. And when that moment comes, when you're standing in the kitchen or sitting in the car or lying in the dark, and you feel the words forming in your throat, you'll remember that someone else knew. Not the details, not the specifics, but the shape of it, the weight of it. You'll remember that you weren't the only one. And then you'll click the next video. Because that's what we do here. You're not looking for answers. You're looking for company. You're looking for proof that the things you can't say are being said somewhere, by someone, even if that someone is just me. I'll be here when you come back. This feeling won't last. I will.